Hello, you're watching Ellie from Ellymentry Papercrafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. I needed to make a last minute gift for somebody, and I was looking through my bits and pieces, and I thought, oh, I haven't done much with the Hershey's nuggets, so I'll just do a little tiny pack of those. But just to make it a little bit different, a little bit more special, I decided to do a shaker box. I've never actually done this before. I've just cut out some bits, and I thought we'll see how it goes with you along, just to see how it works out. So Coastal Cabana, I know it's not a Christmassy colour, but I just thought I wanted to be a bit different. So I've covered my chocolates with a little strip of designer series paper, which measures 3 inches by 1 inch. You wrap them over, stick them at the back, and then the tops are nice and neat. So that's how the chocolates are prepared. Now I wanted to use, to make the frame, I wanted to use some dies. So that determined the size of the box. So I did my trick of putting the 2 dies together on a piece of quick release paper, like so. I stick them together like that, and then I cut out lots and lots of frames to give me the depth for my shaker card element. And then I just removed this one, and this is what I used to cut out the base part. So I'm going to stamp on that. That's going to sit onto the top of our card, top of our box, and then I use that to cut out a piece of acetate as well. So that's going to sit in there as well. So I'm going to start with the box, and it's just like any other box that I've made before. So if you've seen this before, you'll know exactly what to do. But for those of you who haven't, I'm just going to go through it again. So the size of your card depends on what size box you want to make. And if you look back through my videos, you'll probably find somewhere, in fact, I know you will, you'll find a tutorial that tells you how to work out what size card you need and where to score. So I'm going to push the cutting blade right out of the way. My box needs to be the depth of one of these, which is 5/8 of an inch. So I go along to the 5/8 of an inch mark on this side because it's easier, and I just score all the way round. Oh. Okay. So that's that. And by the way, both my pieces of card are the same. Okay. So that's for the base. Now for the lid, I'm going to go very, very minutely below 5 5/8. So that gives the center section a tiny weeny little bit more area, and that means it will cover the base because you've got a little tiny bit of room to play with. So I go up to the 5/8 and I bring it back a very small part. Now that one, I actually realized I only scored that at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put it back in upside down and score over the score mark. So that'll kind of like disappear. And then I'm going to put it back up to 5/8, bring it under slightly and score again. So that's my lid. Okay. So then you need to do the same as you do every time. And that's take a bone folder and really fold and burnish all the score lines. Oh dear, it looks like I've only done 1/2 inch there as well. Not awake today, am I? I'm going to put my other light on as well. So let's go over that 1/2 inch mark. And then let's score in the just below 5/8. Hopefully we're going to be right now. So there we go. So then I take my my snips. Now, because this is a rectangular box, I'm going to make sure that my tabs fold into the longest end. So that means I'm going to use the bottom here, and I'm going to cut either end, just this side of the score mark. So you don't want the score mark here. Always leave the score mark in the tab. And then fold that up so I don't cut it by mistake. And then take a little notch out of each side of the tabs. Okay, and then if you turn it over, you'll find it easier to cut again on the right hand side if you're right-handed, and the left hand side if you're left-handed. By turning it over, you're always cutting on the side that's comfortable to you. So do the same on the other end. I'm going to take my Tombow multi-purpose glue, and I bring up all my tabs so that I can see them, like so, and put glue on all of those. And then tip out some pegs, and then I put a peg on each of these. Like so. And then you do exactly the same for the base or the lid, whichever. So the next thing I'm going to do is bring in all my bits to make the shaker element. So this is going to stick to the top of the box, and I just want a little bit of a design on that. It doesn't need too much because we're going to put some shaker elements in, so most of it or a lot of it will be covered, but we need just something in the background. So I've brought in from Merriest Moments the little dots here, which are actually stars and dots, and they're from Christmas Barn. I brought that lovely fir tree in. Okay, now I've completely forgotten, I forget this every time, to do some little thumb holes in the sides, but no, it's too late, I can't do it. Really should do that when it's still flat. Put 2 little holes in the lid so that you can reach the top off, but it's not the end of the world. Right, my piercing mat, which I normally stamp on, has disappeared, so I'm bringing in the mini catalogue just to give me something cushioned. When you're using the photopolymer stamps, it's a good idea to have some cushioning underneath your work. Just helps to stamp better. With the red rubber, you've got plenty of cushioning behind that, and you don't really need anything underneath. So I'm using the Coastal Cabana ink. I'm just using the 2 colours, Coastal Cabana and white today, nothing else. So I'm just going to bring that tree, right, doesn't matter because I wanted it to be sort of off to the side there, and the bottom's going to be covered anyway with the frame, so that's all right. And then I'm just going to put some dots like so, just random like so. And that's going to go in the back of the shaker. And you really won't see a lot of that, but, you know, just so that something comes through, I thought it would be good. So next, I've got all the frames I cut using those 2 dies stuck together and my piece of acetate there. I think I'm going to use glue for all of them except that one, and then I'll use some very thin double-sided tape because glue's not brilliant with acetate. So let's just go all round with just a very thin layer of glue. You don't want lots, you don't want it to be so thick that it all oozes out. And the good thing about this is you can get your fingers in and make sure that this all lines up really well. And you know that they should all fit together because, you know, I held that held the 2 dies in place with that tacky paper, so it'll all fit nicely together. So that I'm going to put onto there. That's my layers in there. So I'm going to stick that one on there, and it's going to fit perfectly because we use the same die for all of it. And I'm just going to make sure that's very well stuck down so that we don't get any of our shaker elements escaping from the edges. Like so. And then I'm going to stick my piece of acetate to the back of the top frame with some very narrow double-sided tape. So we just press that really, really well to make sure it's stuck down. And then that will go on top of there, and our shaker elements are inside. So I've chosen the subtle shimmer sequins, and these came out with the oh, what was it called, the winter cabin dies last year, but I just loved these and I thought they would be perfect. So I'm using mainly those and just a few of these. Now these are greens, but in amongst them are these sort of hexagonal ones, and I found that they kind of pick up the colours around them, especially these tiny little ones, which I can't pick out at the moment. I'm just going to put my finger in and just see what comes up. But I just thought a few of these little coloured ones would be good. So there's not a lot in there, but just one or two. And they do tend to pick up the colour around them. So we've got some sparkly ones, some matte ones. So I'm going to lay them quite flat on there, and it's just, and then before I put the lid on, I'm just going to add a couple of bits of glue, tiny dots of glue, and I'm going to make sure that a couple of these stick onto the back so they stay in the same place. Just one or two, that's all we need. It's very hard to pick them up. And then perhaps one of these little ones here, which won't come off my finger now. And then I'll just put a little bit of glue here and there, and then as they shake around, if any more get stuck on there, that will be fine. Okay. And then I'm going to run tape around the outside of this, and then I'm going to stick that down, and I'm just going to make sure that they're all flat or just one layer so they don't, nothing gets trapped. Okay, so let's go all the way around with this. Glitter in it. I have no idea where it came from, but it might look quite nice. I'm just going to put the tiniest little bit of that in. That really will add a little something something. Anything with a bit of glitter in looks great in a shaker card. I'm just going to spread that out. And then on goes this top layer. So as we move that round, we get all the fun element of the shaking and all that glitter, and some of the sequins will stay where they are and some will drop to the bottom when it's shaken. It's so beautiful. Everybody loves a shaker card, tag, and now box. In fact, looking at this, I'm going to make some Christmas tags, and I thought I would probably use this die, and then I'll just add a shape at the top that you can tie some thread into. So let's bring our box back. and one should be the lid and one should be the base, and they should fit quite neatly in, because I just made that tiny little bit of difference to it, you know, barely a 1/16 of an inch all round. It wouldn't have been, it was less than that. And then this fits right on top really nicely, and you've got a shaker box. Now I'm just going to see if I can. The sides are going to bend a bit, but hopefully I can get them back again. I just want to take a little bit, just a little bit like that will do, just so that you get somewhere to put your thumb. Each side. So if I put in my little chocolates and put my lid on, that's lovely. And then this can go on top. I can use some Tombow for that. And pop that on. So as you can see, we've just got a tiny bit of that tree showing, the little bit of the stars and dots from the background there, and we just created a nice little gift, some chocolates with a very pretty little box. So that's just a little idea for a very small gift if you want to give somebody something a little bit extra at Christmas time. Okay, so there's your chocolates and there's your little shaker box. So I hope you've liked that video. Please do give me a thumbs up to show that you enjoyed my video. In the description box below you'll find links to the downloadable digital catalogues, and there's also a link to my online store. Thanks again for watching everybody, and I'll see you again on Saturday for my live. Bye bye.